Alright guys, Loadboard search out of Las Vegas, Nevada. That's currently where we are. So we're going to go ahead and do a loadboard search out of Vegas. Dry van, just for today. If you have a request for a particular area, go ahead and follow the link in the About section down below. It's a Buy Me a Coffee link. Send me $5 and I'll do a loadboard search for you. Helps me out a ton. So just put whatever city you want and what kind of trailer you want, so whether it's van or reefer or flatbed, let me know. And yeah, anyways, let's do this loadboard search out of Vegas. Alright, so we got damn near 300 results. So Vegas is a strong market, getting stronger every year from what I've seen. A lot of companies moving out of California and ending up in Vegas. We are not going to go through all of these because it's just way too many, so we're just going to scroll through some of them. Start with this one, going to New York. So this is TQL. You can haul through TQL. If you have a brand new MC, I do a lot of hauling through them because they let me haul through them. So this one's going from Las Vegas to New York, basically New York City, straight up. So $2.12 per mile. I have never hauled a load to New York City, and I probably never will. I know it's a problem in there. You have to take very specific routes. I think there's a bunch of tight turns and low bridges all over the place, so you got to be careful. That rate still surprises me though, $2.12 per mile to go to New York City. Interesting. I honestly don't know whether that's good or bad or accurate. So yeah, there's that one. All right, here's a New Jersey one. What's that one paying? Okay, this one's been booked. Never mind. All right, some Florida ones. All right, let's try this Florida one again. TQL. That's a carrier you can haul for right away. $1.86 per mile to go to Miami, Florida. Bad market for dry van, so yeah, there's that. I might take that though. It's not bad. I might be interested in that. There's Florida one. Pennsylvania. Take a look at that. I'll try to hit every region / state. That's basically New Jersey though. Again, pays about $2 per mile, and I definitely buy that. Pennsylvania / New Jersey / New York have not been very good recently. So there's that. I might be interested in that one. There are a lot of tolls on that route. So there's tolls from Indiana all the way through Pennsylvania. So just be aware of that. That's probably part of the reason why it pays so decently. That. Okay, let's look at this Virginia one. Booked. Try the other Virginia one. How about this one? Nope, booked. Okay, never mind. Never mind in that. How about North Carolina? Alright. This one's paying market rate 15 average. It's been $1.82 per mile. And I buy that. That sounds about right. North Carolina, decent market. Not too bad at all. Not too shabby. So $1.82 per mile. That ain't bad. I might haul that. I don't like hauling the South or the East Coast, so I prefer to stick to the Midwest. I do go to Atlanta, but Atlanta isn't quite as bad as like the East Coast proper. So I don't know. I might take that. I have no idea who Reconix is, by the way. No clue. So Ryan Transportation. Here's one going to Canada. Let's check it out. Ryan Transportation. They're 3 months. I am registered with them. I have not yet tried to haul a load for them, but I think I can. I haven't done it yet. But yeah, anyways, this one's going to Toronto. So that's Canada, Toronto. $1.82 per mile. I would expect it to pay more, to be honest, to go to Canada like that. I know nothing about the Canada market, though, so straight up, I am not the guy to ask, but I have no clue whether that's good or bad. Straight up. Okay, there's an Ohio load, and ladies and gentlemen, this is actually the one I just booked, so that's why it's not coming up there. Yeah, I just booked this one, so I'm actually going to Boardman, Ohio right now. They're all probably covered, yeah. I don't know whether TQL posted the same load 3 times, like I'm just showing you all 3 of them right there, or if they actually had 3 loads and they were all booked, but I definitely just took one of those loads. And I did take it for basically the rate they were offering. I took it for $3,750, and the rate to go from Vegas to Boardman was like $3,700, so I couldn't complain about their rate. I think they needed to get it out, so they put a pretty high rate. I did try to get a little more out of them, but they didn't really wiggle too much, and frankly, they don't have to, because that right there at $3,700 right off the bat is a pretty okay rate. Here's Twinsburg, which is, yeah, basically the same place. So King of Freight, yeah, so this is the same place. So it paid about $1.75 per mile to go to Ohio. And Ohio should be a decent market. However, you guys, if you've been watching my videos over the last few months, I've had issues getting out of there, but I keep trying because why not? It's supposed to be a good market, but I have had some issues with the loads there. But we'll see. We're trying it again, but this is basically the load I booked just now, pretty much. And yeah, it paid $37.50 is what I got for mine, so that's about right, and I think that's totally fine. $37.50 for 2,100 mile load takes me all the way through the weekend, so yeah, there's that. Okay, Ohio, there's Georgia, Columbus, Georgia. That's pretty close to Atlanta, so it's basically kind of Atlanta. And it's saying Las Vegas is paying $2 to go to Atlanta. I doubt that, to be honest. Again, the 15-day market average is not infallible. It does make mistakes, and I kind of doubt that. I haven't tried to book something to Atlanta. That is Atlanta, right? Let's open it up and make sure. Yeah, it's pretty close to Atlanta. I would just consider that Atlanta. Close enough, right? But the idea that it pays $2 is questionable. I question that. So, there's that. Let's try Kentucky. Landstar requires 1 year active authority. I cannot haul with them. I was leased onto them at one point, but I did not have my own authority. So if you have your own authority, Landstar is 1 year. So I cannot book this load, even if I wanted to. But Las Vegas to Lexington, $1.90 per mile, basically. I'd haul that. Yeah, I would definitely haul that. Lexington, Kentucky is basically the Midwest, so kind of in the Midwest. So Kentucky is like that border state between the Midwest and the South. So it's kind of right in the center, but decent market. I'd haul that. Georgia, Kentucky, Indiana. RXO requires 3 months of active MC. I can and have hauled loads for them, and they're okay. This one's going to Indianapolis. And again, I kind of question that. $2 to go to Indianapolis. I mean, that's right on the... Indianapolis is only about 100 miles from Chicago. I doubt that. I'm doubting that rate right there. I do not believe that is accurate. I think you're going to get closer to like 3,500 for this load, to be honest. I don't think that's accurate. So, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Indiana, where's this one going? Is that Chicago? Already booked. Never mind. Wisconsin. Trident, I think is 3 months. I think I can haul with them, but I have not yet done so. That one's going to Eau Claire. $2 per mile, and I buy that. Eau Claire is kind of by Minneapolis, sort of. It's kind of in the middle. It's kind of in the middle of Wisconsin, so I buy that. $2 per mile to go up there. Not a great market. I could see that, and the reason why I don't think Atlanta is paying $2 per mile is because the idea that the Eau Claire market and the Atlanta market are equal is just not accurate. Atlanta is definitely better, so. That's why I don't believe you're getting $2 per mile to go to Atlanta. But there's that one. Aurora, Illinois. That's Chicago, right? Yeah, that's Chicago. So this one's going to Chicago. Saying it pays, again, about $1.90 per mile. Press X to doubt. I think you're going to get closer to $1.80 to go there, but I don't know. I haven't hauled directly to Joliet/Chicago in a while, so I don't know. Interesting. But there's that. I don't know anything about Sage Freight, so. Alright, there's Shaska. I think that is Minneapolis. Already booked. Never mind. There's a Texas load. Check out Texas. That one's going basically to the border. And to go to the border, pays about $1.80 per mile. I think that's like kind of by Laredo. It's definitely a border town. You're probably going to get out of there for a decent rate. There's a lot of freight coming up from Mexico nowadays, so you got that going on. I tend to avoid that area. Super hot, and I don't like it there. And yeah, I mean, you could definitely haul it though. It wouldn't necessarily be a mistake. I'd imagine the backhaul is going to pay $2 plus if you wanted to go that route. So there's that. All right, let's check out El Paso. Kind of similar story. El Paso though is not the best market. I haven't hauled a load out of El Paso, so I can't tell you if it's good or bad on the way out of there. I think it's kind of mediocre, is what I've been. That would be my guess. Coming out of El Paso is mediocre, but going in is okay, kind of. I don't think I would haul this, though. Yeah, I don't think I'd haul that. There's greener pastures, literally and figuratively. Missouri, Missouri, $2 per mile to go to just kind of middle of this, basically the exact center of Missouri. That's okay. Missouri is a totally fine market. From there, you can go to St. Louis or Kansas City or maybe Joplin or something like that, so it's fine. I'd haul that. It's not bad at all. I know nothing about PLS logistics. There's a ton of brokers out there, guys, so I don't know all of them at all. Mount Vernon, that's kind of by Dallas, yeah, so Dallas-ish, little ways off. $2 per mile to go to Dallas. I would definitely take that, but I don't know. I have not. I kind of question whether these loads are actually paying $2 per mile. $2 per mile to go to Dallas. I don't think you're going to get that. I think you're going to get maybe closer to 23, 2400. That would be my guess. I don't think it's quite paying quite that. I think these are a little bit juiced, if I'm being honest. So I don't quite think you're going to get that. Oklahoma, this is Tulsa. I did consider booking this one through... Oh, wait, no. Well, there was a load from TQL going to Tulsa. Maybe it's different. I don't know. Anyways, $2 per mile. That's fine. Taking a load like this for $2 per mile would never be a mistake. Tulsa is okay. Kind of close to Oklahoma City, kind of close to a bunch of areas there. So if you were to book a load like this, I don't think you'd ever be making a mistake. It's totally fine to do something like that. Let's see here. This is... Where's Copel? Is that Dallas? No, that's Dallas. We already looked at Dallas. I'm not going to look at the same place twice, so... Where's Eagle Pass? Is that... Okay, that's Laredo is what that is. So, yeah, Laredo, only $1.84, huh? I would think it would pay more than that. Interesting. Again, I would not haul that. I don't like hauling to that area. Way too hot and just, I don't know. I don't like hauling there. I will, but it's not something I enjoy. And, I don't know, it doesn't pay all that well. So, Longview, Washington, that's kind of close to Portland. Pays, yeah, so $3 per mile. Actually, I did briefly look at this one. This is TQL. So I did actually look at this when I was looking for a load out of Vegas. And I did kind of look at this one, kind of eyeball it. If you can go up to basically the Portland area for $3.40 per mile, let's say, you're doing pretty good, right? You get up there for $3.40 per mile, deadhead down to Reno, you're fine, right? That's why it pays $3 per mile, because it's just dead up there. And I did briefly consider taking this one. I don't think I made an offer on it, but yeah. Not a mistake to take a load like that. Kelso, Oregon. Okay, we'll look at this Oregon. No, that's Portland again. Spokane. Let's look at Spokane. Here is a good example, I think. Yeah, okay, well, about $3 per mile still. So I think you want a little more. You want like $3.20 per mile to go up to Spokane. You're deadheading to Reno. Straight up. Yeah, you're going to deadhead to Reno. But interesting dynamics on the West Coast is that you take loads to these regions and then you deadhead 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 miles back to a better region. And that's why it pays $3 a mile, though, because you're going to have to do that. So, all right, Oklahoma, Wyoming. Let's check out Wyoming. Gillette, Wyoming. This is another good example. Yeah, $3.27 per mile to go to absolute middle of nowhere, Wyoming. That is just, let's take a look. I know where that is. That is nothing there. Yeah, nothing there. The nearest city is Denver. Yeah, there ain't nothing there, boys. Nada. That is middle of nowhere, which is why it pays $3.27 per mile. It's not a mistake to take this. You just have to understand if you take it, you're going to deadhead. At that point, well, let's look. If I took this load, I would literally deadhead to Sioux Falls or maybe Rapid City. You might be able to find something in Rapid City, but I doubt it. But you're just going to be prepared to go away. Got a warning there. You're going to be prepared to deadhead to like Sioux Falls or something. That's why it pays so much. So, yep, here's that one. Gillette, Oregon. Take a look at Colorado. Same kind of story here. $3.26 per mile to go to Colorado. It does take you through the Rockies, and I think on this route you actually do have to go through the Rockies, or else you're going to add like 300 miles onto the trip. So if it's hazmat, you cannot haul hazmat through the Rockies. You have to go on a roundabout way. So just be aware of that. But you do have to go through the Rockies on a load like this. In the summer, totally fine. In the winter, I would not take this load. Period. But right now in the summer, it's fine, kind of. You're going to burn some fuel, but it is what it is. There's a California load. That's like Northern California, middle of nowhere, kind of. Yeah, $2.64 per mile. It's like, that's not like San Francisco. It's kind of middle of nowhere, right on the coast. So kind of an interesting route. You would have to deadhead to Reno. Fascinating. I might take that. Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico. A lot of loads coming out of Vegas. Good market. So this one's going to middle of nowhere, but it only pays $2.38 per mile. I would not take that. So there are greener pastures. Idaho. I already looked at this one. Nope, booked. Okay, so to go to Idaho pays $3.21 per mile. Again, same story. Idaho dead market. Prepare to deadhead to Reno, or all the way back to Vegas. It's not a mistake to deadhead all the way back to Vegas. So there's that one. Woodland. Where's Woodland? Is that Los Angeles? No. Okay. Video. Okay. Trying to find different regions. Okay, that one's going to San Francisco, $2.19. I don't think I'd take that. Mexico. Let's see. I'm trying to find a LA run. I can't remember. Are these LA? San Francisco, California, Sacramento, Mexico, Fremont. These are all San Francisco loads, so that's why I'm not clicking on them. Stockton. That's kind of middle of. That's more like San Francisco. $2 per mile. It's kind of by Sacramento, kind of by San Francisco. Similar market. I'm trying to find a LA run. So, but here's one going to Reno. So from Vegas to Reno, $2.72 per mile. I do not believe that. I think that's inaccurate. I think you're going to get closer to about 1,000, maybe. Basically, Las Vegas and Reno are pretty much equal markets. You're going to get about $2 per mile going in and $2 per mile coming back would be my guess. They're pretty much equilibrium markets is what I've discovered. Salt Lake City, $3.28 per mile. That's because you're going to deadhead back to Las Vegas. I just dropped a load in Salt Lake. Could not find anything on the way out, so that's why I deadheaded to Vegas. So I can tell you that is most certainly what you're going to do. Fresno. A lot of stuff going to California, but I think these are all kind of Stockton / Sacramento runs. I'm trying to find a California one that's going to LA. Check out this Phoenix one real quick though. Phoenix and Las Vegas, pretty equal markets. Phoenix maybe slightly better. So there's that. So you get about $800 to go to Phoenix, and then I think about $1,000 to $1,200 to go back to Vegas if you can make that work. So there's that. Buckeye, Tulsa. These are all right. There's a LA run. So here's a good example. LA. Really? $2 per mile to go to LA? I doubt that. Press X to doubt. I don't think you're getting that. I think you're getting like $1.50 per mile. My strategy with LA, if I were to run from like LA to Las Vegas, I would pick up a load in LA, drop it in Las Vegas, and then deadhead back. The load from LA to Las Vegas is probably going to pay like $3.50 per mile or something like that. So, there's an Ontario, California load, same thing. About $2 per mile. I doubt that. I think you're going to get closer to $1.50. So, okay. And then here's a local load out of Vegas going to Mesquite, about 60 miles away. Pays like $5 per mile. You're definitely deadheading back. There's that one. Okay, guys. Yeah, there is the loads coming out of Vegas. There's a ton. Vegas is a good market. I would say a good market, not just a decent market. It's a good market. Lot of loads coming out of here nowadays. Lot of companies moving out of Los Angeles and coming to Las Vegas. Reno, same thing, except they're getting more like the Sacramento / San Francisco companies. But Vegas, damn good market, decent, nothing wrong with it. I just deadheaded here from Salt Lake City, 400 miles, and when I was in Salt Lake City, I think there were like 30 loads available on a load board search like this. But here in Vegas, there's 300 almost. So that's why I deadheaded. So there you go. Just scrolling back up, letting you guys look at it. Slow down, do whatever you want. If you would like me to do a load board search, go to the Buy Me a Coffee website, throw me $5, and I'll do a load board search for you. It incentivizes me to do these. I get a lot of requests, so yeah. Okay, there you go, guys. Just let me know what city, what equipment type. I'll do one search for you. And yeah, so there's a link in the About section down below. Feel free to use it, and I'll see you in the next one.